how to cut out window tint on a door. So just make sure your glass is clean, free of dirt, debris. Get your tape measure, go to the front of the glass, to the back. So you'd want to imagine a straight line dropping down from here and give a little extra. So I'm just gonna pull, let's just say 35 seems okay. Okay, so I have the length set at 35, tape measure set to the box. Pull it up to the top of the tape measure. And I'll go and I will just, once I get to the end, I'll grab my film slitter and I will just run it along the edge. And for me to get my 20 inches, my height, I'll bring my tape measure down to 20. Bring it on 20. Just tighten up the roll a little bit so it's not so big. Make sure you don't have anything sticking on the top or the bottom. Make sure it's even. Line it up at the 20. And mark it with your thumb. So I'm holding it, the bottom and the top is covered. Mark it 20 and I'm going to cut it right in half. So now I have two pieces 20 inches by 35. So this can be for the driver and passenger. I like to lay it out on the glass first on or your peel board. So your first piece will go liner down. So liner on the opposite side of the wall. And your second piece will be liner up. What I like to do is I like to put the factory edge on the bottom. So looks good to me. I'm gonna go ahead and secure these two pieces together so I can carry it onto the car and not having to worry about them moving and getting uneven cuts. And take this factory edge on the bottom and line it up at the bottom. As you can see, it's pretty good. This car's pretty straight. So make sure you pull it enough over to cover the side over here. So that's covering. Sides are covering. What I should have did beforehand is you'll open the door and you'll take a look at the inside just to see how much room you have on the front and the back. This Mercedes, these cars tend to have a lot of room up here. You're able to see more from the inside of the car behind this than you are outside. So knowing that, you're gonna want to cut it bigger. Cut off the excess. Okay, so we're gonna cut our front edge. Sorry, I messed up on the first cut, so I'm gonna redo it. So yeah, so you're gonna, no blade sticking out, you're gonna poke the blade right here, or as low as you go, or as high as you can go. Poke your blade out just enough, just a little bit, and just follow the trim piece up. Be careful on your angle so you're not scratching the glass. Tear out, tear out. So now you see we have our inside edge. If it makes it easier, you can pull it off the glass, spray it again, set the film back up, line up the bottom, come to the front. Remember, majority of cars you're only gonna move over a little bit. You're compensating for this, like you're moving it over double the amount, if that makes sense. So I'll show you what I mean. So for this car, because the inside is pretty big, I'm going to pull the film back so you can see the film. If I were to install it now, this is how much it would sit on the inside of this trim. The film would go this far in. But I also need it to be able to cover this rubber. So about the size of this rubber too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it over again. This may seem kind of big, but trust me, these cars do need quite a bit of coverage. So I put it over double. Now I'm going to cut this side. So poke up your blade. You can use your finger as a guide to hold the film. And just go down all the way to the bottom. Tear out. So now you're gonna pull it back over just enough to cover this rubber, cover this trim. Actually, before that, you're gonna pull it down. So you're gonna pull it down a little bit past the bottom, while also lining up this side, making sure both sides are covering. So it looks good. So it looks good. Maybe straighten it out a little bit, actually. All right. Once both sides are covering and the bottom is overhanging a little bit, you're gonna lock your film in, make sure it doesn't move. So now, lift the film off the glass so it doesn't crease. You're gonna want to go down a little bit. You're gonna bring it down just enough so you can cut the top edge. Some people like to leave this extra. I don't. I like to cut maybe an inch above the edge of the glass. I found that that's what's easier for me. Every time you pull your blade off of the car, you want to break your blade and put a new one. Make that a habit. Yeah, you're gonna pull this back, lock in the top edge, lock it in. To cut your top edge, you don't need a lot of blade sticking out, poking it out maybe twice. And you're gonna want to see where the top edge is. You're gonna kind of hook it in, so it's in. You're hooking it down, and you see how the film is on this side of the blade. That's what you want. You don't want it on the outside of the blade. If it's on the outside, it's gonna jump back out to the inside when you're going, and it's gonna create a little hump. So if it's on the inside, you're good to go. Keep steady angle, steady pressure all the way across. Tear up. Tear up. So that's your top edge here. You can eyeball it if you want. I like to just go with a ruler. You'll match the side. And you'll just run it down. In your corners, use your fingertip. Put your fingertip here and follow it down. What that does is creates a nice corner. You're gonna go ahead and do the same thing for the front, all the way down on this one. And now you're gonna eyeball it, straight cut. And once you get to the edge, use your fingertip again, follow that curve. But yeah, so there's your top edge. I know this is a driver door, but you can always check it, check the bottom corner, see which side is the liner. But it's a driver door. I'll go ahead and place it this way on my peel board. And now this is the passenger door. Now the liner is facing on the other side. Now go ahead, flip it, set it on my peel board. If anybody has any questions about it, leave a comment below, and I'll try to answer them to the best I can. Thank you.